Juita Wan Hashim, a landscape architect, is no stranger to making her mark in a male-dominated industry. Starting her own firm at the age of 28, she has worked her way up to be a recognized player in her profession, winning awards and being out there in designing low-rise, high-rise and mixed developments and also townships. Let's explore Juita's world to see how a woman survives in the construction industry of landscape architecture. We meet again at Women at Work series of Ask the Boss. Today we have with us landscape architect Juita Wan Hashim, an award-winning landscape architect who will share with us her experience in building her career and her own business in a male-dominated industry of landscape architecture. Welcome, Juita. I'm so happy to have you here.
Okay, thank you, Sarina. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here as well. And this is actually the first time that I'm doing a podcast show, and I'm very excited to share about my professions to the audience. Yes. Thank you again.
My pleasure. I'm excited too because before I met Juita, I didn't even know that there is an architect for landscape. It's a completely different profession. We always hear about building architects, but not many people know about landscape architects. And in this podcast, I'm excited to share with the audience out there, especially younger people who may be exploring into different professions, what they would like to do in their careers, to learn about landscape architecture.
Okay, sure.
So Juita, you graduated at the age of 22 to 23, very young age.
That's correct,
And you work at a landscape architecture firm.
Yeah.
Actually, two landscape architecture firms before you set for your professional exams at the age of 26.
Yeah.
And you started your own firm at the age of 28.
Yeah, correct.
Now, I read in a magazine which featured an article about you that you dare to dream big.
Yes.
And it is really inspiring to learn at how a young lady at the tender age of 28 could start her own firm in a male-dominated industry at that time. Well, until now, it is still a male-dominated industry. It's always been, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was the opportunity that you saw at that time when you started your own firm? What spurred you to start your own business at such a young age?
Okay, I'm Juita, landscape architect Juita Wan Hashim, founder and director of Verona Designs in Berhad. My company has been operating in the industry for more than 11 years, and I have been in the industry for more than 18 years. So as what Sarina mentioned, that I started to work with two landscape architecture firms, Oris Design and MLE Landscape Architects, before I decided to open my own company. And at the age of 26, actually, I passed the professional examinations in one sitting to qualify me to become a corporate member of Institute of Landscape Architects Malaysia. So after that, 2 years after that, at the age of 28, I decided to open on my own firm. But at first, I have a partner for 2 years, and then we decided to open on our own. Due to we can explore our own designs, ideas, concepts, and maybe have a range of projects that we can choose, clients that we can choose, and designs that we can do, type of projects that we want to do. And I think in terms of flexibility, in terms of management, so and I think I can do more and be more. So that's why I decided to have my own, not to work under people, which is actually the journey is a bit challenging for me. But Alhamdulillah, I made it until now. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
How did you get your first few jobs for your firm?
Okay.
As a lady,
yes.
It's almost a one-man show, what's supposed at the time?
Yeah, I think
one-woman show.
I think it's very hard. A journey is the journey is not very easy at the early stage of my career when I just opened up my own company, because nobody knows me, nobody knows our company. So I have to do a lot of pitchings. I went to networking events just to get to know a lot of people. And then we registered with a lot of developers. Maybe like I can see like in 1 month, maybe around 20, 30 profiles are sent to developer, just like, just to see how many clients they're going to call us. And then we did a pitching, and then we registered with a lot of developers, and luckily we have a few call us to do a very small scale projects with very minimum fees. We just took it because at that time we can't choose. We can't really choose what projects that we want to do it. We just want to work. We just want to have a job so that we can start something out of it, and getting so that people can know us. We have profiles to show. So. And I think it's through word of mouth as well, where when I went to networkings, I met a lot of people, and then they introduced me to other people. So maybe from there, we got jobs. And at that time, at the age of 28, I started to involve a lot with my associations. I was actively involved with the Institute of Landscape Architects Malaysia as a council member. So that's how I know a lot of people in the industry, and people started to get to know me. And I think I also love to do volunteering works, contributions to society, which sharing knowledge to people, to students. So that's how I gain a visibility, so that people know me, and when they started to know me, they will see what jobs that I'm doing, what projects that I'm doing, which developers that I work with. So yes, I think that's the some things that I did it at the earlier stage of my career. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've always been interested in the arts and creativity since you were young.
Yeah.
But why landscape? Is it because you love the environment, you love the outdoors, you have a penchant for plants?
Yeah, I always love, I have the interest in the outdoor environments and arts and nature. Like to me, just look at the nature, just look at the plants, the trees, it makes my life more manageable. It makes me calm and relax. So I was interested to do, to go to the industry involved in creativity. And landscape architecture is something that involves a lot with creativity, do a lot of designs, and with the nature environments. It's a combination of art and science and outdoor environments. And when I was at the early young age, my parents are educated, they are lecturers. So lecturers ni, they like to send a lot of classes. Hantar pergi swimming class, send me to art class, send me to what class? Piano, organ class. So, and then when they send me to art class, from there I know that my interests are really towards arts. And then my mom sent me for drawing competitions, and then my school sent me for drawing competitions. So I know that's my interest. I want something which is related with creativity and arts, and at the same time involve a lot in the outdoor, because I like to work. I like to be outside. I like to work outside and more flexible, going to the site. So I think that's about it. Yep.
It is interesting because nowadays not many people spend their time outdoors. Maybe because of course our country is a little bit hot as well. But with landscape architecture, it would make it more interesting for people to spend more time outdoors.
And other one thing, because it's a professional industry actually. It's something like, you become a doctor, lawyer. So it's a professional industry, and you work a lot with allied professionals, because these jobs you have to coordinate, you have to work with architects, you have to work with engineers, M&E engineers, CNS engineers, and sometimes we collaborate with arborists, ecologists, specialists. So you have chance to meet a lot of professionals, a lot of people. So I love meeting new people. So I think it's something that really suits me.
Right.
Yeah.
So your team consists of course, yourself and Other landscape
associates. Yeah, we have
architects?
landscape architects. We are around 10, 11 people in the office. It's considered sizable and a medium-sized office. Yeah.
So you have a medium-sized firm, and you mentioned that you work a lot with engineers, building architects, other professionals. So when you work on a project, are these other professionals already there, prepared by your clients, or do you go out and assemble a team on your own? For example, I'm seeing this hill terrace, for example. So I can imagine that there would be engineers involved when you dress up a hill or the terraces within the hill.
Yes.
So is it your own team, or you contact people that you know, or is it supplied by your client?
Okay, normally it is the consultants are already there. Clients are the one who's going to select the preferred consultants based on their preference, based on the profiles. They have a profiles and which architects that they want to use, which engineers that they want to use. So so normally clients will call us and like project housings, residential, low rise, high rise. So we will work with all consultants, all professionals. But for project like parks, maybe it's just us, landscape architects, and maybe we have to. There is a cases that we work with engineers as well, but there are also cases that we have to find our own engineers to advise on the structural M&E lightings and all that. So it depends on what type of projects, but like in Malaysia, most of our jobs that we are doing are housing projects. I can see that around 70 to 80% are low-rise and high-rise residentials. And the rest of it is institutional, commercial, mixed developments, streetscape, parks, and there are also special projects like civic landscapes. And the type of projects, it depends on the skills and complexity. Like if we talk about high-rise projects, a bit very complex because you design it on the podium, on the highest level, rooftops. So you have to coordinate a lot with the engineers, with the architects. You want to, whether, if you, let's say you want to build a planter boxes, whether you can like sunken down the planter boxes or you have to raise up. So we need to coordinate a lot with the architects and engineers. So it is considered a complex jobs. It's building a swimming pool in the podium, and then you have to make sure that surface water drainage runoff at the podiums are managed properly. So it is considered complex projects, but for jobs which is the landscapes on ground, like parks, or there are also some projects like low-rise residential on grounds, it's considered, it's not really complex, but still a lot of coordinations in terms of infrastructure. Like you need to coordinate with the other engineers for feeder pillar positions, street light positions. So still, you still have to work with the light professionals, I must say, yes.
I suppose it's really interesting working on a park, right? Because obviously it's a much bigger land area and you have more leeway to design lakes, trees and walkways.
Yes.
But for apartments, I noticed that in one of the projects that you did, your design is based on origami.
Yes.
And I found that really interesting because I've never seen a whole floor with places for children to play, the swimming pool. Everything is designed based on origami.
Yes.
How did you come up with that design? Was it your own, or was it the client who wanted you to do it?
Okay, I think that time we have the space, but it's very small area, and the budget is not really high. So I think we need to create an impact and have a very special design elements that make it outstanding and like out of the box thinking. So that's how we decided to come up with the concepts where we have this origami pavilions. Actually, we work with our associate architects to come up with the designs, with the material selections and whatnot. And then even the finishing materials, even the patternings of the playgrounds, we design based on the origami shapes to make sure that the designs are seamless and integrate. And to make it outstanding, we use red color to make it very vibrant and bold design. So we make the colors very bold as well. So I think when we have a very limited budget, we have a very limited spaces, we just have to make use the budget to make sure that the design, the outcome is very outstanding and create a very big impact. That's why we decided to have a very nice concepts to make sure that the designs and the outcomes are, like outstanding. I can say that it is one of my favorite projects in my profile. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
When it comes to landed properties, you would have more area, more surface area to plant your trees and to design.
Yeah.
For when we talk about townships, for example, when they build new townships, obviously they would clear out a lot of the original plants, and that would create some disruption in the biodiversity of that area. How do you, as a landscape architect, mitigate the effects of cutting off trees and replanting? I suppose you do a lot of replanting to balance out the environment that has been somewhat disrupted when new townships appear.
Yeah, I think as a landscape architect, we are very responsible to mitigate the urban heat island effect, to lessen the climate change and slow down the global warming. So when developers started to do a township, they like bulldoze everything. Like there is a major deforestation happening at one areas, at one townships, and this is what the landscape architects' roles, which they have to make sure that the ecological restorations have to be done at that particular areas. So there is a few strategies that we did. Like we did a wildlife green corridor network. We plant a lot of trees. We have a list of trees and shrubs which can attract the wildlife to come back to the townships, and butterflies, birds. And then we also propose a microforest. We plant a lot of forest trees for cooler environments, to reduce the urban heat island, for cooler environments, to reduce air pollutions, to provide shades to people, to increase biodiversity. And then we have also proposed IUCN red list trees, endangered trees species, to make sure that everything is balanced up. And also we did a lot of reforestations. Actually, we did a lot of microforests, planted microforests to attract wildlife to come back to the townships. Yes.
How long does it take for a new forest to be built and to attract back butterflies and birds? How long does it take?
I think if, let's say, like you started to plant trees, I think within a few months, because we know that we have a list where there is trees or shrubs which normally the birds like to come, and sometimes normally if we talk about birds, they like fruit trees because they want to eat fruit. So I think within few months you can see that the ecosystem is already there, inshallah, especially those are native there. And when the developers started to do developments, they lari. But when you started to plant, everything's back, so they will come back, and like you have a healthy ecosystems there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that is like part of requirements, not just requirements. I mean, some things that need to be done by all the landscape architects to make sure that the ecological restorations are there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you say that when lands are cleared and there will be certain types of animals, birds, who maybe move to another area, and by replanting, you attract them back.
Yes, yeah, correct.
So I would think that would mean that it is quite easy for the environment, for the animals to be attracted to a place that is restored.
Yes, provided that you know what type of species that you need to plant it to attract them to come back. Yes.
And what would these species be? Is it a certain type of birds? Do you study what was the original migration area, for example? Do you go into all that?
Because some projects they have like ecologies, like some special projects, the developers engage more specialists to come and work with us. So I don't have chance to work with ecologists yet, but I heard that like KL East Park, like sometimes they engage ecologists to work together with the architects to identify what's the existing species, what existing animals inside the parks, for instance. So when they studied the existing species, wildlife, so it's easier for them to know what's attract them to come back to the township. So like for us, sometimes we got the report. We got the report from clients. Maybe they have done studies, reports done by the planners. So we got it from information from the clients, and from there we studied what type of trees, of shrubs that need to be planted to attract those wildlife to come back to the environments, to the townships.
I suppose you have to be an extrovert in your profession. Because you really have to go out there to really show your work.
Yeah.
You really have to, you cannot sit in the office, for example. You really must go out.
Yes, I think for a woman, they need a tangible result. I mean, they want to see what you have done, what kind of projects have you done, what kind of completed projects have you done. So once your projects have been completed, you need like around, at least high-rise around 4 to 5 years, parks maybe 2-3 years. But in order for you to get parks project, maybe you have to do a small-scale project first. Maybe you have to do industrial projects or just 1 million landscape value before you get the 2 or 3 million landscape value of work. So it is a process that you have to go through. You have to do a small jobs. You need jobs to get another job. So you need to do small jobs to maybe to get bigger jobs. So I guess once you have a completed project, so people are more confident, people trusted you more than before. And then I think you have to be, like you said, that you have to be out there, you have to be very extrovert, like you have to, like show to people that you exist, not just, sit in the office. So I think visibility is very important for a woman in the construction industry. You need to know, people need to know that you exist, and you can do a lot of things like not only involving with the associations, like you went teaching, like me, I like to go for teaching, and then you can talk in seminars, organized by associations or focus group discussions. So there's a lot of things that you can get involved in.
Is there a difference between a design by a lady landscape architect and a design by a man landscape architect? I mean, obviously, I would think that there would, right? Because being a lady, maybe different types of flowers, for example. I don't know.
I think maybe like me, if design, but it depends on the clients. Sometimes clients, they don't like to have a lot of flowering plants because of maintenance. But I can see that, like me, I prefer to have a bit of flowering shrubs. But it depends on the concept. If let's say you go on the English concept, you go on the French concept, of course you need to have flowers in the landscape design. But if you go on, like the clients wants very minimal, very rustic effect, so there'll be no flowers in the landscape design. Normally it's just going to be a very simple shrubs. So in terms of differences, you can't see so much differences between the men and men or landscape architects or women's landscape architects. It's almost the same.
Really? Oh, because I can imagine if I was a landscape architect, I would have lots of flowers everywhere. That's and different types of. I love flowers that give out a beautiful smell.
Yeah, but it's very hard to maintain.
That's personal. It's hard to maintain.
Yeah, that's the challenges part lah. I mean, like for if let's say it's a residential project, maybe it depends on the individual preferences, but there is also requirements that we need to suit by the authority. Like some developers, they don't want shrubs. Like at the park, you want to design a park. Once you hand over to us, make sure that all shrubs have been removed because they can't maintain it.
As a woman landscape architect, do you wish to see more women in this field? And If so, what can be done to encourage more women to become landscape architects?
Yeah, I think I would like to see more women to be involved in this industry. So we need to attract more women to be involved in these career and professions by promoting our professions and create a very strong network among the women in the industry and celebrates the women's success and having a female role model so that they inspired to be involved in these professions. So I'm just wishing that there will be more talk sessions to empower more women to be involved, maybe celebrations of Women's Day, and maybe we have mentoring sessions one-to-one with another woman so that we can share our challenges, our problems, obstacles, and how can we overcome the challenges together. So yeah, I think these are some of the strategies that need to be done so that more women are interested to be involved in my professions.
As you mentioned, it is essentially a construction industry, isn't it?
Yes.
We say landscape architecture, but it is actually construction.
Yeah, because we work with a lot of men, even it's a landscape architecture, but it's a constructions. The teams are mostly a men. So you go to site, there's a lot of risks, there's a lot of challenges to deal with men and stereotype or gender bias. So sometimes we have all those kind of issues. So maybe we should have more sharing sessions among the movements to know about the issues, the problems, the challenges, and how can we help them to overcome all the challenges, how we can, mentoring them, empower them to be, more involved and, to become more outstanding in this field. And I just feel like women also should be given equal opportunity in terms of job distributions, in terms of positions in the company. It should be given opportunity, and because women are thought leaders, innovators, and meticulous designers. So I feel like if, let's say, you given more opportunity to women, you will see more female leaders will be emerge. That's what I feel.
agree with you when you say meticulous.
Yeah.
Women are definitely more meticulous. You pay attention
More
to
attention.
detail.
Yes.
And that
That's
is one
correct.
of our strengths,
Yes,
isn't it?
precisely. Yeah.
So perhaps with this podcast, more people would get to know about this profession, and perhaps Juita, you can start the process of getting more landscape architects.
Yeah, inshallah.
To come out more, because as it is now, there are more men
To be more
doing the job.
outstanding,
So we can perhaps introduce developers out there who would give more opportunity
Yes,
for women landscape architects.
That's my wish, which I hope that it will come true lah. Yes,
So with that, thank you so much, Juita.
Yes,
we have
welcome.
certainly talked a lot about landscape architects being more than just cosmetics, right?
Yes,
A lot of
yes.
people, the common misconception
Yeah.
is people think that it's more cosmetics.
Just for beautification.
Beautification.
Yeah.
But there is, as we have
lot of-
learned during this podcast, there's just so much more that is involved.
Yeah.
You even plan for for the birds to come back into a township. I mean, how
Floodplain
amazing is that?
Yeah.
What is that, the strategy?
Floodplain strategy, how you make
Amazing.
sure that it is how to tackle the flood issues. So we did a lot of things actually.
A lot of things that, well, I didn't know that all this came into play within one profession. And of
Yeah.
course, you deal with other specialists as well. But
Yeah.
certainly learn a lot today. Thank you, Juita. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarina, for having me. I really enjoyed the sessions, and all the best to you.
Yeah, we'll meet up soon at
Yeah.
another gathering. We are very strong with our women associations.
Yeah.
And thank you again.
Thank you for having
Okay,
me.
lovely.
Thank you.